Right, I'm all done. Let's send this and show the landlord that we ain't gonna back down. This is just ridiculous.
What's up?
He just replied saying pay more rent or get out.
Oh, that's just rude.
Yeah, it is, and he has no right to threaten me like that. If he wants a battle, then I'll see him in court.
Whoa, what?
I have rights. This horrible man just can't threaten to kick me out if I don't pay more rent.
Horrible man?
That's what I said.
So, I give you a place to live when you're at your lowest and now I'm an horrible man?
What? You're the landlord.
What? Me? No? Oh, crap.
Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And it's been a few weeks since we've done one of these. I've been going on a bit of a health kick with my life, so I've given up smoking. 2 weeks today, smoke free, which I'm quite proud of. I tried a couple of years ago to give up smoking, and after about 5 or 6 weeks I ended up with severe tonsillitis and then went back onto smoking. So I'm trying again, and so far so good. Also cut down energy drinks from like 10 a day to 2 a day, and going back to the gym. So the channel has taken a bit of a hit, but we're back and we've got this one coming. I'm going to be doing 2 of these a week, so today and on Friday there's going to be 2 episode look backs, just so we can try and catch up to where we are now with the show, which is about 10 episodes into season 2. I've also got 3 different shorts to come out this week, which will be they're quite funny, so keep an eye out for them. They'll be coming in both the portrait and the landscape format, because I know like some people prefer like watch it on the phones and some people watch it on computers, and one specific person that I know of watches it on a 4K TV. So yeah, so let's get straight into it. This is the second part of I think it's episodes 9 and 10. So in the first one, as you see here, Nick finds out that Mr Daz is the landlord and Mr Daz wants more rent. So in this one, it's the aftermath of it. So Nick moved out, and let's just get straight into it.
And can I live here now, please, Mr Daz?
No, why would you ask that?
Well, because Nick doesn't live here anymore.
What are you talking about?
Well, he left here with a bag of clothes about an hour ago and said he would come back for the rest of his things when he finds a new place to live.
So, Nick has moved out?
Yep.
Oh, wow. He's really gone.
Morning, Mr Daz. How did you sleep?
Not too good, David. I've been having trouble sleeping all week.
What?
I don't know. Let's see. Nick moved out and you moved in. When Nick lived there, he was in bed by 10, whereas you wander around the apartment all hours, and when you do finally fall asleep, you snore, walk and talk in your sleep.
Oh, do I? Silly me.
It's bloody annoying. The other night I woke up to find you standing at the bottom of my bed giggling. It scared the crap out of me.
So the idea of this show, this episode, sorry, initially it went straight on to a scene of Mr Daz and Nick both at work. But I wanted to do it. Mr Daz has gone on about Nick living with him and things like that, and going on to the point where like he wanted to live alone and he wanted to make that known. So I needed to do it. I needed to find a way so Mr Daz wanted Nick to come back, and the idea was to go with the boredom and the loneliness and everything. But I had the idea of if David moves in and David turns out to be a crappy roommate, then it's gonna make Mr Daz want Nick to come back that little bit more. So this was a last minute thing to put in, but I think it worked out pretty well, because the absence of Nick here and then David moving in, just it made it all come together really.
Sorry, still, it's nice to be out of my mum's place and to have my own space.
Yeah, well you're going to need to find a job somewhere, because I'm not paying for everything for you.
But I work for you.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but with Nick gone, it means I have to pay every bill. I do all the shopping, pay you a wage. I'd rather you just get a job and paid your way.
Okay, I can do that.
What are you good at?
Well, I have a computer degree.
Really?
Yeah, I like computers. I'm good at building them and fixing them.
So why the hell have you been working for me if you can do all of that?
Well, it's because of my mum. She's always worked, and if she had to stay at home and take care of my brothers and sisters, she would go insane. The last time she had to stay at home, she was drinking every day and things got really bad. I had a good job at the time, but I had to quit it so my mum could go to work.
But your brothers and sisters are not your responsibility. You shouldn't have to be their father when they have a mother.
Yeah, I know, but when my mum was at home and drinking, she wasn't really taking care of them very well, so I took over for her. Now everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody except you.
It's okay. They're at an age now when they can kind of take care of themselves while my mum's at work. I will still go back and forth to make sure they're okay, though.
You're a good man, David.
Thank you. Have you seen Nick since he moved out?
Nope. He took the week off work to move into a new place. I tried to call him a couple of times, but he didn't answer. He must be busy.
Yeah, he is. I spoke to him the other day and he said he has a studio apartment. It needs a lot of work, but he said it's his own.
Oh, so he picked up the phone to you then?
No, he called me to see how I was.
So, what I liked about that scene, like I said, initially it wasn't supposed to be included in, but before I created this episode, I did have a few comments of people asking more about the backstory of David. They wanted to know more why David is working for Mr Daz and why he's working for Peanuts and things like that. So the idea was, and it is the case, I'm not sure outside of the UK, but in the UK it is the case that if you're a family and you're on benefits and you've got an older child, who like an adult child, and they go out to work, it can affect your benefits quite a lot. And like, even if you are a single mum and you have minors in the house, it can affect it quite a lot. And like in this situation, that like the idea that David works like under the table and like gets paid under the table, it fitted in, but also he had to have a bit more of a backstory, and a bit more of that backstory was the case that like he's got his computer degree and things like that, but there was nothing he could do about it because of the effects that it would have on his mum and the benefits. Now, ideally, if you've got a computer degree and you was to go out and get some work, you'd probably earn more money than you would on benefits. But then you take into consideration that you've got a single mum in a house with 3 kids, and then like, so it's going to be a 3-bedroom house, and if it's in London, that's still going to set you back 1,200-1,300 quid a month. So like money wise, so yeah, we got a little bit more of the backstory with David, which I thought, which people wanted, people was asking for, and this was a good way of actually getting that information in there.
I hate to admit it, but I miss Nick living here. Things just aren't the same with David. He constantly wants to please me. He'll cook me dinner, tidy up after me, do the shopping, walk Rocky, and anything else you can think of. It's getting quite annoying. At least when Nick was here, he would challenge most of the things I did. We are different in so many ways, but it worked. Now life's got a bit boring. Oh, I can't believe this. I miss Nick. Hi Nick, welcome back. How was the move?
Oh, it was really good, thanks. The studio's not that big, but it's my own, you know.
Yeah.
Just looking into some ideas for the decor. I was thinking of getting some fittings to try and separate the bedroom from the living room and the kitchen. It would be a bit of a squeeze, but I think I can make it work.
Oh, that's good. So no regrets about moving out then?
At first it was daunting, but it's got easier as the week's gone on. I heard David's living with you now.
Yeah, he's been there for a few days.
How's that going for you? I like now because I sit back and watch like the newer episodes that I've done, and like as time's gone on, I've learnt to do things better. For example, like as you just see there with Mr Daz, that like the way the lighting works in this scene doesn't really make sense because you've got like 4 windows on the wall, so you've got 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and the light in this part is shining down from the ceiling and not in through the window. But when you come to the like frontal shot of Mr Daz, his whole face is lit up and there's not one bit of light on Nick, and you'd expect him to have some light on him. So I feel that like, I've improved a lot with the lighting, and like it's simple enough with the directional lighting. It's getting the right angle for it and making sure that it looks good on the final render. So that is a part where I feel that I've improved, not majorly improved, but like slight improvements as time's gone on. And like I worked hard with the home scene, so when they're in the apartment, because that is the focal point of the show. But like for example with this scene and with this office was it was a quick build up, that because I wanted to do this scene, it was built quickly. And sorry, my cat's just come and scared the crap out of me. So yeah, I've worked hard on the lighting to make it look more authentic, and I'm happy with the way it's come out now, but I'm not happy with the way it is in this episode.
Be better.
I'm glad.
This is not going great, Nick. He snores like a pig, he sleepwalks, and he wants to do everything for me. A few more days living there, I bet he waits in the bathroom to wipe my bum. I can't handle it anymore.
So tell him to move out then.
I can't. Unless I tell him you're going to move back in.
That's not going to happen, Mr Daz. We tried living and working together and it didn't work. We clashed with everything and it was just exhausting.
But that's what made it so fun to live together. You annoyed the crap out of me most of the time, but I think that's what I miss the most.
Sorry, but this is just the way it has to be.
Okay. So when can I see the new place?
Well, it's going to be a while. I'd rather get everything decorated first.
Okay. Something smells fishy. So I have a feeling that Nick is lying to me about having a new place to live. So to be a good friend, I've decided to follow him and see where he goes. As his friend, I have to know that he's okay. But this is where
So this is the part now with Mr Daz that it shows concern for Nick, that like for the way that Nick's talking about this new apartment, he's showing concern for it, but it's not. It's his personality that he wanted the apartment to himself, and then he had David there and he ended up getting it, and now he wants Nick to move back. He's stubborn in a way that what he wants he will get, and he will figure out a way to do it, and at the same time he'll come across as if he's being sincere, but he's really not. He just wants to get his own way.
that dump, there is no way he can be happy living here. There was a homeless man using the lift as his own, and his bathroom, and there's a weed factory here somewhere because I already feel like I'm getting high.
Hello, who is it?
It's me. Open the door.
What are you doing here?
I followed you to make sure everything was okay.
You're stalking me.
Don't flatter yourself. I just feel bad about how things turned out and wanted to make sure you was okay. Can I come in?
I would rather you didn't. The place isn't finished yet.
Nick, as long as it doesn't smell as bad as this hallway, then you've got nothing to worry about.
Fine, come on in.
Oh, wow, this looks lovely. Really homely.
Yeah, you can drop the act, Mr Daz. I know exactly what it looks like.
There is potential here. You just need to get your thinking hat on.
I've tried, Mr Daz. I put wallpaper up on the wall the other day. I woke up in the morning, it was laying on top of me and already started to mould. The neighbours are awake constantly arguing and having sex. I just don't know how I ended up here. A few months ago...
There's one thing, and like when I was writing this, I remember writing this episode and I was actually watching an episode of Family Guy while I was writing it. So that part there where he's like, he put wallpaper up and the next day because of the mould it fell back down. The reason why that got put in is because I was sitting here writing this episode and I was watching an episode of Family Guy, and they done a cutaway in there when, if you've seen the episode you'll know it, but Peter walks into a room and he gets jolted, and then the wallpaper gets jolted, and then all of the wallpaper just rolls up. So I was sitting there watching that scene, and before I knew it, like, I'm watching that and laughing at that, and I've wrote wallpaper into this episode. So yeah, that's where that bit came from. I actually remember that quite clearly.
I was happy living in my own house, and then in the blink of an eye I'm living in a studio apartment that's falling apart and full of junkies.
So come home then.
What?
Come back and live with me then. David won't mind going back to his mum's and you can get out of this hellhole.
It's not going to work, Mr Daz. We clash too much.
Yeah, and that's my fault. I know I can be stubborn and that I'm set in my ways, but it's because I've always lived alone. Things can get better though.
I will have to think about it.
Well, don't take too long. I think I just see a rat run under your bed.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to make a move before someone steals the tyres on my car.
Okay, see you at work tomorrow. It feels pretty good that Mr Daz has come to me and asked me to move back in. The truth is I hate living here, it's a dump. I just have to make sure things don't end up the way they did the first time around. Morning, Mr Daz.
Morning, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks. I've been thinking about what you said just then. I'd like to take you up on your offer to move back in.
Oh, that's great. Let me call David and tell him he needs to get the hell out.
Okay, but before you do that, we need to talk about a couple of things.
Okay, shoot.
First of all, the rent is too high. I can't afford to pay that much rent and the utility bills.
Okay, that's cool. Keep the rent amount the same and I will pay the bills.
Okay, thank you. That works. Secondly, you need to let me treat it like my home too.
What do you mean?
Well, when I moved in, I had to put a load of my stuff in storage because it didn't fit your decor. I want to take all that stuff out of storage and put some of it in the apartment. It won't be a lot. I will sell what I don't bring, but I want some of my stuff out.
Okay, I can live with that, as long as you don't clutter up the place.
It won't, I promise. I do feel bad for David, though.
Oh, don't worry about him. Even if he didn't move in, I would have still told him to leave. He's alright in small doses, but I can't stand living with him.
Cool. Right, I'm going to take the day off and get my stuff out of storage. Just remember, things might look a bit different when you get home tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Right,
And there's
I'm
the
up home
smile
now.
because he got his
Nick's
own
moved
way.
back in and taken some of his stuff out of storage. I have no idea what I'm about to walk into. I really don't like change. I've always had things in specific places, and now his stuff's coming in. It's just going to mess with my brain. Well, ain't going to know until I get home.
Welcome home, Mr Daz. What do you think?
About what?
Well, I've moved some of my stuff in.
Where?
Well, it's only that cabinet, a new coffee table and some pictures for now. I'm debating some of the other furniture that I have, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, that's cool. Welcome home, Nick.
Thank you.
Oh, you put your picture of your nan above the TV again.
I did, and that is non-negotiable for now. I want it to be on show.
Okay, but it is a very distracting photo. I feel like she's watching me as I watch TV and it freaks me out.
How could you say that about a woman as lovely as my nana?
Well, that's just the way I feel. How about if we put her on that wall? She's still in the living room then and she'll be seen all the time.
Okay, cool, we can do that. Thank you for letting me change things around a bit.
No problem.
Oh, it feels good to be home. That studio apartment was starting to get really frightening. There were fights all day and night. The bar downstairs had some real lowlives in and they always got into arguments. This area is not the best, but it's a million times better than where I was. I was also thinking there might be a bit of a power change in the apartment. Mr Daz came to me and asked me to move back in. Surely that means something, right? Guess we'll have to just wait and see.
One thing, let me just go back a little bit there. One thing that I hate with working with iClone and Character Creator, now the clothing here, if you look at it, there was a bit in this earlier with Mr Daz when he was talking to David, and what happened is that you could see that the trousers were starting to come through the t-shirt a bit. So because he had a white t-shirt on, you get black marks coming in and out as Mr Daz was moving, and I can't stand it. And the way that you can do it is that you can conform the clothing to fit better, and that works really well in Character Creator. That when you conform the t-shirts to the trousers and like you do the clothes settings and everything, you can change the poses and everything in Character Creator and it looks absolutely fine. But as soon as you bring them into iClone, you start to get the issues, and what you end up having to do is, well, what I end up doing is, because I don't know another way around it yet, is I increase the size of the clothing and then conform it. But what happens is, if you look at Nick here, his t-shirt doesn't fit to his neck, and I can't stand looking at it, because if you look at this t-shirt here, like, it's tight around the neck, and no matter what you put on, unless it's a shirt, it's going to be like that. But for this, I just don't like it because it doesn't look good. And even down to the actual, like, if you look on the shoulders of the t-shirt, I think I bought a load of clothing from the Daz store because it was on offer, and I imported them from Daz 3D to Character Creator, and the way some of them have come out, that I can understand why they was on sale, because the way some of them have come out just doesn't look all that good. And like some of them, like this one, I think still looked like it in Daz 3D, so it was a poorly made t-shirt, but I went with it anyway. I think I've actually used this as well. This was the yoga t-shirt that he was wearing, so I think I have used it as well, like before this and after this, but they're not close up, so you don't really spot it all that well. But if anyone does watch this and there is another way to correct the clothing, especially like around the back of the neck part and that, point me in the right direction for a video that shows me how to do it, or feel free to comment down below and explain how it's done. But yeah, that part is annoying.
Daz came to me and asked me to move back in. Surely that means something, right? Guess we'll have to just wait and see. Right, that's it. I'm all settled back in.
That's good. David, what the hell are you doing out there? Just be bloody careful.
How's David taking it, having to move out?
Oh, he's in a strop at the moment. Said he refuses to go back to his mum's and that he's going to run away.
Oh, poor David.
What do you mean, poor David? What kind of 23-year-old threatens to run away? He just needs to grow up and get his crap out of my apartment.
Our apartment, you mean?
Yeah, if you say so.
So thank you for tuning in. This was another episode look back, and I feel that I didn't really have that much to say through this one. It was one of them episodes that I wanted to do a two-parter, that I wanted the suspenseful side, but this just was. It was just your basic straightforward one. Nick moves out. Mr Daz wants Nick to move back in, and it goes along them lines. So I didn't really, apart from some of the lighting and some of the way the clothes are conformed and that, there wasn't really too much here that I had to comment on. I know the next episode is still one of my favourites. I know that some of it, if I was to remake the next episode, it would need a lot of improvements to make it look better, but for the way the episode is, it is one of my favourites. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you next time.